Why hello there, astute traveler. Welcome back to the channel. The last time you saw my American compatriot, he was out gallivanting around in Q Suite in a beautiful kingdom known as Qatar. Now, even though there's a lot of royalty in Qatar, there is a lot of royalty in this one new series that I have for you today. It's a 4-parter, so we're going to keep it even, not 3 parts, and then not even think about making a return trip. So we're going to do a round trip this time to the wonderful mystical land of Nigeria, more specifically Lagos, just like the last time. A lot of times I do need a break from the American way of life. So join me as we venture off into royalty or lack thereof. A tale of luxury and a little bit of ludicrous. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the British Ballads. Editor, please cue the intro. No, not that one. This one. What's going on, Flight Fam? This is your captain speaking, and welcome back aboard Flight 4080. And yes, welcome back to a new series. This is going to be known as the British Ballads because I have 2 series on this channel known as Chronicles. The LA Chronicles and the Qatari Chronicles. That's a little bit too much. So we're just going to change it up a little bit with the name. But this time it'll be a 4-part series instead of a 3-part series like the last time. Last time I flew business class on Qatar Airways going to Nigeria, but coming back I flew on Qatar Airways again, but in economy class. Let's go back to November of 2023 when all of this was filmed. Terminal 8, but I'm dealing with all of these goddamn bags right here. All of these bags. So you guys are gonna have to deal with this for a minute because I'm not gonna be taking you guys through check-in at any point in time right now because this is too much for me right now. This is what happens when you become Santa Claus for your family. Alright, so check-in went without a hitch. Now it's time for me to go to the Greenwich Lounge, and if you saw my earlier video when I first came through here with Qatar Airways, you already know that I don't really like this lounge. So let's see how it is now because there's a few British Airways flights leaving from here. Thank you so much. Looks like it's not that crowded, so hopefully we get a little bit of something. Now, within a 3-hour time span, there are multiple flights flying between JFK and the London area. So, for starters, I'll do British Airways, and there's only one flight between JFK and London Gatwick, and that is BA 2272. Next up, I'll do American Airlines, which is American Airlines AA100, AA106, and AA104, all heading to Heathrow. And finally, we have the plethora of flights with British Airways between JFK and London Heathrow. Starting off, we have BA112, BA174, BA176, which is the flight I'm flying on, BA116, BA172, and BA114. So with all of those flights leaving within a 3-hour time span, yeah, there's going to be a lot of premium heavy flights. But with all the airline vernacular, let's go back to see how I fared out in Terminal 8 today. So, Greenwich Lounge is a little bit crowded, but not like the last time. And there's a little bit of an addition. They have like this tasting room, and I'm probably gonna get a little snack from there. Not bad this time. Not the best, but respectable. Cappuccino. I'm not cutting that out. Literally a piece. Oh wow. Brownie's decent, but I wasn't expecting that. After the mishap with the brownie, I decided to get a bite from the tasting room, which is sponsored by the Brooklyn Brewery. Shout out to you guys. I started it off with a nice glass of champagne. It actually wasn't that bad this time. And I placed the order for the local charcuterie. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that good neither. After quenching my taste buds in the tasting room, I decided to go over to the bridge. Now the bridge is a nice open space over the terminal where you actually walk under it when you're heading into the main concourse of the terminal building. And there's a nice ambiance to it, I'm not even gonna lie. Plus, there's a nice little bar area with charging ports and a few lounge chairs. I have about, I would say maybe about 30 minutes before boarding, so I might be leaving here a little bit early. I just like to get to the gate, not on time, but before time. To me, early's on time is late, and then late, yeah, you don't even get through the door. So one of my friends just landed here in JFK, and I'm like, you arrive, and I'm leaving. So call that divine timing. One thing I do like about the ambience here is it's very calming, you know. TSA is actually right behind me, so since there's TSA there and everything, I didn't even know somebody was right behind me. So yeah, I'll just cut it short here and I'll see you when I get to the gate. This thing is freaking freaky. Yes, I'm one of those that doesn't mind heading over to the gate early, especially since I wanted to take a little bit of a stroll through the terminal just in case I needed anything before heading to the gate area. Now that's pretty cool. Now I'm heading over to the little expansion that they have here at Terminal 8, which pretty much looks like the rest of T8 to be honest, but supposedly it's new. See how much time we have left.
Good afternoon, passengers. This is a gate change announcement. American Flight 4558 with non.
Okay, so we have roughly about.
This is the final boarding call for all ticketed and confirmed passengers traveling on British Airways Flight 100 when out from service to London Heathrow.
Alright, time to board. It's starting to look like bedlam around here. Biometric scan.
Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. That is freaky. That is so freaky. Having a biometric scan. It's been 2 years since I've been to London. Let's see how great Club World is going to be. And I'm sitting in 9A. So ever since British Airways announced their new Club World, it was one thing on my bucket list, and I'm glad that I tried it for the first time on this itinerary. And while boarding, I was greeted by one of the lovely FAs to my seat of 9 Alpha. Now the first impressions of the cabin is so beautiful, and the reason why is just due to the ambience of the music, the choice of the mood lighting, and just the choice of the colors of every single suite. Upon getting to my seat, I did come across the bedding, which is made by the White Company, the pillow, which is also made by the White Company, the headset that I never use, the beautifully crafted black leather White Company amenity kit, as well as a bottle of water from Crystal Geyser. That's not so luxurious, now is it? I also brought my own amenity kit, which is branded by a competitor over the North Atlantic, United Airlines. That's from my United Airlines flight that I took about 1.5 years from when this was recorded. So with first walk-in impressions aside, I did find out a few little things that I did not like about the suite. and one of them happens to be the visual aesthetic, as I just said. More likely, it's probably due to the maintenance techs at British Airways. So being that I'm on the left side of the aircraft, my storage bins will be to my left. The bigger storage bin has a USB-A power outlet, the universal power outlet, as well as the auxiliary port for wired headphones and wired earbuds.
Glass of champagne,
Here we go.
Oh, thank you so much.
Why, thank you for the champagne. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, exquisite. Wait, what is that out there? Well, isn't that such a beautiful and majestic sight? A Cathay Pacific Airbus A350 has graced our presence, taxiing ever so gently into Gate 18. And this happened at the exact time when I was taking my third sip of champagne. And even though we were 29 minutes behind schedule, I was very mindful for the reason why. The reason for such delay is because there are people connecting onto this flight. And in the world of aviation, things are unpredictable at times. So please, my fellow travelers, I implore you to be very mindful and very demure in your thoughts. Cringe, I know, but looking at sites like this, sitting back and relaxing, but at the same time acknowledging the fact that we're going to be running 29 minutes late, it still gives you a greater perspective and appreciation for all airline workers and aviation workers, pilots, crew, and ground staff alike. And somewhat broadening your horizon in life, because you never know if that would be you one day in specific situations, like running late to a flight due to misconnections, delays, and pretty much anything that comes in our way in life. And speaking of great perspectives, let me give you a little bit of information as we're pushing back about this beautiful, incredible, and incomparable aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER. Tonight's flight will be operating as British Airways BA-176. Tonight's aircraft registration will be flown on Golf-Sierra Tango Bravo Kilo, a 9-year-old Boeing 777-300ER at the time of flight. And as we taxi past terminals 8, 1, and 4, I'll turn on the fasten seatbelt sign and allow you to listen to this beautiful spool up and takeoff roll of this amazing aircraft, thundering down runway 4 left. After takeoff, as you can see right here, we made a right turn over Rosedale, climbed along the south shore of Long Island until reaching Belmore, before we made a left turn, heading up towards Huntington and over the Long Island Sound. After crossing the Sound, we entered over Fairfield, Connecticut, then making a right turn and continuing along Connecticut, Massachusetts, and then flying parallel to Maine and finally entering Canadian airspace between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Once reaching Newfoundland, we entered Gander airspace before heading over the North Atlantic. After a short crossing over the North Atlantic of 3 hours, we finally hit our first country of Ireland, then Northern Ireland. After crossing the Irish Sea, we finally entered England, passing and descending over Liverpool, and passing over interestingly named English cities and towns, such as Stoke-on-Trent, Stafford, Birmingham, Coventry, and Banbury. Once we got closer to London, we made a nice right turn over Bovingdon. Then we descended further over Uxbridge, Hayes and Hounslow, followed by a series of left turns over Worcester Park, then another by Thornton Heath, and the last between Camberwell and Brixton. From there, we finally made our final descent over Battersea, Fulham, Brentford, Hounslow, before touching down on runway 27 right at London's Heathrow International Airport. Tonight's quick transatlantic crossing will take exactly 6 hours. Kinda quick, innit? Cruising at 37, 38, and 39,000 feet, respectively. Well, if my attempt at a British accent is making you cringe, I sincerely apologize. But since we're at cruising altitude, I'll turn off the fastest seatbelt sign and let's get into the flight. I'll start off with giving you a little bit more information about this specific Boeing 777-300ER. Now, British Airways has a total of 16 in their fleet, and they're normally deployed on their more premium dense routes. So New York JFK is definitely one of them. First class is spread out through 2 rows and is set up in a 1-to-1 configuration for a total of 8 first class passengers. Club World or business class is also set up in a 1-to-1 configuration, but guess what? Club World is split through 3 separate cabins. And that's not even the best part. There is a grand total of 76, yes, 76 business class suites. And the best part, you can be ahead of the engine all the way to the back of the wing and still be in business class. Followed by that is World Traveler Plus, or Premium Economy, which is split up between 5 rows in a 2-4-2 configuration, bringing the total in this cabin to 40. And finally, we're at the back in World Traveler, or Regular Economy. There are 14 rows in this cabin. However, out of the 14 rows, the last 4 rows in the back are set up in a 2-4-2 configuration. Otherwise, the rest of the cabin is in a standard 3-4-3 configuration, bringing the total in this cabin to just 130. So the grand total of this Boeing 777-300ER configuration is 254 passengers. Given the size of this aircraft, that's actually pretty light. My seat though is 9 Alpha, and the reason why is because of that beautiful engine view, and I love listening to the engines on takeoff and landing. Geez, with all that information about the configuration about this plane, I needed a nice hot towel. But what I don't need is scratches on my vanity storage. Not so cutesy and demure, isn't it? The dining service would soon start, so I decided to pull out the tray table. To access it, all you need to do is pull the metal slot, pull it towards you at your desired length, then unfold to unveil the entire table. I even checked to see how sturdy it was because visually it didn't look like it would hold up, but it was pretty good. I had placed an order for Singleton whiskey, and that was my first choice. The kind FA unfortunately told me that they had ran out. However, I did have an alternative, Johnny Walker, and I had that with some Coke. I'm not kidding. It was actually mixed to perfection. We also received some mixed nuts, however, they weren't warmed in a little bowl. Now this isn't a bad mark, but normally in business class, they do serve you a bowl of warm nuts. After deciding what I will be eating tonight, I decided to take a look inside of the White Company amenity kit. Now this little bag contained the normal odds and ends. Gray non-branded socks, which I kind of want to see a British Airways logo on it. A White Company eye mask, a small wellness card, along with White Company spa skincare such as gentle moisturizer, lip balm, a lavender, sage, and peppermint pulse point, a generic toothbrush with some Colgate, and a pen with no markings on them. After that, I decided to connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. First class actually gets Wi-Fi for free, which I'm actually kind of jealous of. All other cabins have to pay, and there are 2 separate browsing options. You have browse and stream and messaging. The pricing was in euros, so for 1 hour in browse and stream was for $4.99, 4 hours was for $11.99, and for the entire flight pass, it was $14.99. And as for messaging, you have the option between 1 hour for $2.99 and the entire flight pass for $4.99, which is what I went for. Normally, I don't necessarily buy the Wi-Fi, and the only reason why I don't is just simply because I want to test out the IFE. And I have good news, BA's entertainment system will not leave you bored, with a good assortment of movies and shows from old to new. My choice tonight is Too Fast, Too Furious, an instant classic. Not long after my starter was served, tonight I went for the tuna tataki with smoked trout, smoked salmon, poached prawns, coleslaw, boiled egg with horseradish and cocktail sauce. Now the fish and the prawns were good, but I kinda want a little bit more flavor with my starter, just to kick my taste buds up. But overall, it wasn't bad. And now it's time for the main event. Wait a minute, is that a glass of red wine? Don't you normally have Chardonnay with your meals? Well, I did say in my last review that I'm trying to upgrade my palate with different wines. And what a better way to accompany red wine than with braised ox cheek with mustard potato soda, broccoli, and chimichurri. I wouldn't say that it was chimichurri, I would just say that it was gravy, but let me just tell you this. I absolutely loved this meal. It was just simple, flavorful, and I ate every single bite. And I also got another glass of Johnny and Coke. I like whiskey. I was absolutely tired and I just wanted to get a little bit of sleep. So what I decided to do was unravel the white company bedding and the pillow, close my sweet doors, and call it a night, because this is going to be one quick flight. So I'll see you guys in the morning. The evening, morning, you know what I mean. Whoa, with only 3 hours of sleep, let's take a look at where we are. Well, it looks like we're not too far from Irish airspace, just south of Iceland. And not long after realizing where I was, the breakfast service started. And you might be wondering, and what culinary delights did you choose this morning? Well, my good fellow, we're not just gonna dive right into the meal. We have to start off with the drink, and the beverage that I chose was a nice quintessential cup of coffee. Because you wake up at 39,000 feet in the air, what better way than to look out the window and have a cup of joe? But since you're here mainly for the meal, I'll tell you what the meal was. And the meal was a bacon, egg, and cheese. Yeah, it was a bacon, egg, and cheese. I mean, that was literally on the menu. I'm not even joking here. So I was expecting an English breakfast to be on the menu, but they fooled me. So I was like, you know what, let me just go for the bacon, egg, and cheese, and it was actually pretty decent. You know, not what I'm used to over here in New York, but it was pretty good. After the breakfast service wrapped up, we started our descent over the United Kingdom, and the dawn of a new day was upon us. And it was a very graceful descent, I would say. Landing at Heathrow just always hits different. Well, wasn't that a lovely touchdown? Welcome to London Heathrow International Airport, where the local time is 6:54 a.m., a 14-minute early arrival. And thank you so much to British Airways for such a punctual ending to the flight. So flight 1 out of the series wasn't that bad, to be honest with you. Just the little scratches here and there on the vanity mirrors, and again, this was something that I saw in almost every single Club World suite. The food was decent, could be better, but it was pretty decent. But the service was absolutely perfect. Not slow, but not rushed. Simply professional, and the attention to detail was absolutely perfect. Now, some have dubbed this airline as British Airways, and I definitely could understand as to why. My own criticism again would be the vanity mirrors. I've seen other reviews where the food wasn't as good or edible at all either. And of course, when you think of British Airways, I would think of a world-class airline. Is there hope? I believe there is. But let's not speak so soon because this is only flight 1 out of 4. And I think I spoke too soon. Now, as you can see, we're taxiing a little bit too slow, and then we came to a little bit of a halt for maybe about 5 minutes. And if you saw the Qatari Chronicles Part 1, I think you know where this is gonna go. The last time I came to Heathrow with American Airlines, we got off on a jet bridge. And yep, you guessed it, it is a bus gate. I'll be damned. Oh, the indignity. But first world problems aside, I want to know your thoughts about British Airways through this review. Have you ever flown on British Airways? Have you ever taken a flight in British Airways in any class of travel? And if so, what were your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I'd like to take the time to thank you for watching another review on Flight 4080. Thank you so much for watching this new series installment of the British Ballads, and I'll catch up with you guys soon in the next video. Cheers for now.